Hey guys, it's Monica at Academic Phoenix Plus, and welcome to a tutorial about how to texture these objects. We're going to be going today over the grapes, and we're also going to be going over how to create glass, how to create wine, and it's all going to be driven procedurally. So that means that I'm not going to be using textures from outside. I'm just going to be using everything inside Maya. So it's going to be a great learning experience. So let's get started. All right, so just like anything else, I'd like to add a physical sky. So go under Arnold Light, Physical Sky, and then that way when we render, we can actually see what's going on. So we have this really nice looking geometry. And by the way, you can download these models at academicphoenixplus.com for free. So go ahead and take a look at academicphoenixplus.com under downloads, and you can download this for free, and that way you can follow along. All right, so grapes. Let's take a look at some reference. So it's always really important to look at reference to replicate a CG object. And this one is a great example of that. Grapes actually are a little foggy, right? So they're not super clean, but when they're wet, they become very, very reflective. Here's another example. Notice that they do have a little bit of like that white residue on the outside, and they're not really even. So we have a little bit of a gradient, and we also have some uneven color. And this applies to green grapes, all types of grapes. So we're going to be mimicking something similar. Also notice how much the light goes through it. So the light, it's not like a solid object. Light actually goes through it, scatters, and then bounces out. So we have a lot to cover. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and create a new material. I'm going to choose an AI standard surface. And of course you want to label it. I'm going to start off with just like a basic purple. So purplish, it's more like red, purple red. And then let's just compare. All right, some of you may think that's perfect. It's not. Let's move forward though. I'm going to stop the render by pressing stop. And I'm going to click on that little guy to get a snapshot and also scale it a little bit so we can see this a little bit better as we start building our shader. Now let's break up the color. So in color, I'm going to click on this little checker and I'm going to use Arnold aiNoise. So select Arnold and choose noise, and you're going to see aiNoise. And the way aiNoise works is that, it doesn't look like much right now, but when you start increasing your octaves, you're going to get a lot more interesting information, right? So you can see now that it's a little bit more detail and there's a higher contrast between black and white. I'm also going to increase the scale, let's say 3 by 3 by 3, which is going to add a lot more information into our grapes. If you want to, you can also increase it further. And to really increase this contrast, we could also use what's called lacunarity. And if I start decreasing that, you're going to notice that the darks are getting darker and the whites are getting whiter. So that's also going to help me kind of break up the texture. Over here in the colors, we're going to choose the grape color. So now we have that color. And then I'm going to choose another color, color 2, and choose perhaps something that's slightly darker, or you can go slightly lighter depending on what you're going for. So just by having these type of changes, you can already get a little bit of that noise that we were looking for. Now, of course, you can go a little lighter, but it's starting to look like it's breaking up the texture, which looks really nice. All right, let's talk about the next part, which is that specularity hotspot. Now, I'm not a big fan of the sun right now because I really want to see is a bigger surface of light. So I'm going to go to Arnold Light, Area Light, and this is going to produce an area light. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to turn off normalize. And then in this physical sky, I'm going to go to my color. There's a little connection. Click on that. I'm going to turn off the sun for now. I can always bring it back, but we'll talk about lighting later. But in this case, I just really want to see that specularity highlight. So you can see it there. Let me increase my intensity. So again, what I'm trying to do is be able to see that specularity, and you can see how even it is. It almost looks like it's covered in oil. So I need to change that. So I'm going to go ahead and select my grapes. I'm going to go down to my specular and I'm going to select roughness. This is the specular roughness. I'm going to click on this little guy. And just like before, I'm going to select Arnold and I'm going to choose aiNoise. And you're going to get this connection editor window. So what's going on is that aiNoise can produce RGB. So 3 colors, right? Which does the whole spectrum. And then, but specular roughness, which is right here, needs only black. You can only choose a black and white image. So the way we can do this is just say that out color R is connected to the roughness. So this is a black and white version of red. Now you see this before. If you click over here under R, this is the R. This is a black and white version of red. This is a black and white version of green. And this is a black and white version of blue. That's how printing works. So we're basically just telling it to use the R and just as a black and white image into the specular roughness. Okay. So with that, let's take a look at the effects. And you can kind of see the effect that it's actually kind of breaking down the texture a little bit, the roughness, but not enough. So let's push this a little further. I'm going to grab my grapes. I'm going to go to my roughness. And just like before, we're going to increase our octaves. So that's going to give our specularity a little bit more noise. The scale is not enough, and I'm just going to get a little closer so we can really see that change. And I'm also going to increase the scale. So I'm going to do 4 by 4 by 4. So you can start seeing that the noise is actually eating at the highlight. So instead of a perfect square, it's starting to break up, which is great. But I also want a higher contrast. So I'm going to bring down my linearity, just like we did with the color. So you're starting to notice that the highlight is really starting to be shining, and the areas that are dark are rough. That's a really great way of making it look like it's rough. Now I'm going to increase that by 6 by 6 by 6. So now it's a lot more, it covers more space. Now, if you still want, if you feel like that's too shiny, for example, you can use your colors. Grab the black and just kind of bring it in so it's not as perfect and clean. You can just kind of reduce that, and you can do the opposite as well. Maybe the roughness of black is too much, so you can kind of crunch those values together. So we still get that nice texture that's broken up, but at least the specularity not so dramatic. I'm going to go back to my color. I think that the contrast is too much, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of bring those values a little bit closer. Let's see if I can pick a better purple. Okay, so they still look really solid. We have really nice color. We have a nice specularity. But the problem still lies is that they look very, very solid. They almost, if you told me they were potatoes, I'd believe you. So I want to make sure that you can have light going through it. So that's when we bring in subsurface scattering. I'll click on this just so you guys can compare. So this is what we started with. This is what it looks like now. And, you know, it's significantly better. We really are getting that nice, accurate texture and color. So subsurface, let's open this up under subsurface. We want to crank it up. And what's going to happen is that it's going to make our grapes kind of white because our subsurface is white. So we have to tell it like, no, we actually want light to come in and scatter. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a subsurface scatter color. And now we're starting to get this type of results. Now the radius we also have to play with because you can see that it's still affecting the texture, but we can also take a look at the scale. So the scale is just going to represent how much we want it to actually bounce. So I'm just going to make sure that it goes in a little bit, like around 0.25. And then I can go into the radius, and I can also pick another color. You can choose something that looks, let's go to the RGB. And let's make it, okay, I'm looking at my reference. It's a little bit more in the orangey yellow-ish. And let's bring this up a little bit. And again, I can increase my scatter if I want the subsurface to be stronger, or I can decrease the scatter. And of course, you also have the weight. So you have to play with all of these attributes to get like an accurate. So if you want to see more of the skin and less scatter, then you reduce the weight. If you want to see more scatter, then, you know, you can just go all the way out. And, you know, it kind of works, but we start losing our noise. I'm going to press stop for now. Let's go to the hypershade. And here's my, oops. I'm going to click on this guy right here, which basically will show up my grape shader. And this is my noise that is affecting the color. So I'm going to say color. And this is the roughness. So, and what I'm going to do is actually grab this and see if I can drag it into my subsurface just for fun. I'm going to drag it. So what I'm doing is middle mouse and dragging it into AI surface color. Okay. And see what type of effects we get. So you can see that we're getting some really nice results by doing that. So it's basically accepting the color and it's driving the subsurface color with this, and it looks a lot more realistic. So let's compare. That's what we had before. This is what we have now. So I'm definitely much happier with this result. Okay, let's talk about color variations. When we take a look at this, you can see that color variation is very important. We don't want to have perfect grapes all the time. These are beautiful looking grapes, so they all have the same type of color. The specularity is a little bit different, and we can definitely push, but we definitely want to have the grapes to have different color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce what's called aiJitter. So aiJitter is this really great Arnold node. So I'm going to hit tab and just bring in jitter, just type in jitter. There's AI color jitter. And what it does is that it will diversify our texture so that instead of having one solid color, you can actually change the colors. And this is very powerful for multiple reasons, but let me show you how it's done. So what I'm going to do is grab my out color and drag it into the input. And then I'm going to grab the out color of my aiJitter and drag it into base color. And of course, I'm going to drag it into subsurface. So for aiJitter to work, these pieces need to be separate. So I'm going to go to modeling and I'm going to mesh separate. And by separating them, it converts them into separate pieces of geometry. Now, nothing should have changed in our render because the only thing we did was go from one massive piece of geometry to lots of little ones. And now let's take a look at aiJitter. But let's just wait a second while this loads. And I can just kind of compare the two, and you're going to see there's not much difference there. I'm going to press stop. And I'm going to go to the connection and play around with the aiJitter. Now, if you guys haven't played with aiJitter before, you can do a lot of fun things. So for example, if you have a gumball machine and you don't need to create like 1,000 gumballs, you can actually go in and change the gain max. Now, the biggest thing to do with aiJitter is to make sure you go to objects so that it will look at every individual object. It has to be different objects for it to create the jitter. And then you can increase the max and you can see right away the effect. You have all of these dramatic colors using aiJitter. Now, this doesn't apply for a grape at this time, but if you had a gumball machine or if you wanted to mess around with other things, you can totally play with the gain, mix, and max, and you can get some really interesting effects. So I'm going to go ahead and drop those back to 0 so we get our default. And then we have our hue, min, and hue. So I can actually decrease my hue min and increase my hue max, and I can start getting some different types of grapes. I'm not interested in that actually, so I'm going to reduce my hue max to 0. But I do want a little bit of color variation in my grapes. So very quickly, just using aiJitter, I do not need to create 3 or 4 shaders. I can just use one shader and attach an aiJitter, and you can get some different color grapes. If you're interested, you can also increase your saturation max or your saturation min if you want some dramatic color variations. So again, you can just kind of create your own gumball machine if you like, but in this case, I actually don't need all that, so I'm going to go ahead and decrease it. So this is a great way of creating a forest. You only need one tree, and then you can use aiJitter and create a little bit of variation, and the forest will just change color. So really quickly, I can create some really nice variations. It depends how much variation you want. As you can see, I can really push this, but I'm going to just get it. Mine's going to be kind of subtle. I just want a little bit of color changes. Not too subtle. Let's go to 1.5. So very, very powerful. So let's see what we started with. We started with this. Then we had just solid colors. We added subsurface scattering, and now we have a little bit of aiJitter. All right, let's add some color to these stems. I'll choose AI standard surface. I'm going to choose some sort of brown. Probably like a dark brown. And just like anything else, you want to increase the roughness because it shouldn't have that much. And then I'm going to call this stem shader. And going back here and turning back the sun. Obviously the stem could use more love, but for now, I'm going to get a closer picture of these gorgeous, delicious looking grapes. I am ready to grab a glass of wine, grab some cheese, grab your grapes, and let's have a nice little picnic. All right, everybody. I hope that was helpful. That was a quick tutorial on how to create realistic textures for grapes, all procedurally done. We used aiNoise to give us some color variation, and we also used aiNoise to do the specularity roughness. We added some subsurface scattering and also used color aiNoise to drive that or subsurface. And then we also added some aiJitter to give this a little bit of color variation. So we covered a great deal. I hope you found this interesting and if not fascinating. And hopefully you like it. If you find that this was useful and you liked it, please feel free to like and share. That would be amazing. You can also subscribe to my channel. That would be also amazing. And also, if you have time, please take a look at academicphoenixplus.com where you can find free downloads like this one. So you can follow along as well as free ebooks, free videos, and so much more. So take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. So thank you again for spending the time with me. I know there's a lot of video tutorials out there for 3D, so I'm grateful that you guys are spending time with me. And please leave a comment below if you have any comments or suggestions. Have a great one, and I'll see you next time.